Carry On is Netflix's latest offering, serving as a nod to the classic action thrillers of the past. Rather than relying on grand spectacle, the film focuses on crafting tension within the confines of a single, meticulously constructed location. Directed by collet-serra, this story straddles the line between paying homage to genre staples like Speed and Die Hard while attempting to resonate with a modern audience. It employs a straightforward formula: an everyman protagonist, a failed cop, thrust into a high-stakes situation where his loved one's life hangs in the balance. What begins as a simple choice spirals into a moral dilemma, probing the delicate balance between duty and personal attachment. But what truly makes Carry On a topic of discussion? Is it its missteps or its bold attempts to delve into the complexities of human weakness and hope? Let's break down how this film tackles genre tropes and what ultimately gets left behind the curtain. The protagonist, Ethan Kopech, Taron Egerton, is a hard-to-sympathize with average guy accidentally caught in a deadly game. The script leans heavily on his flaws: clumsiness, past failures, and an inability to make swift decisions. Egerton works hard to give Ethan depth, walking a fine line between vulnerability and stubborn determination. However, the problem lies in Ethan's lack of relatability. His actions often feel either overly naive or melodramatically contrived, creating a sense that he's reacting to the demands of the script rather than living through his own choices. Scenes where Ethan hesitates between duty and fear for his girlfriend's life drag on too long, dulling the tension. Even so, Egerton's strong emotional performance, physical commitment, and expressive eyes manage to salvage some connection between the character and the audience. Jason Bateman's character, known as the Traveler, is a key source of the film's tension. His calm, almost hypnotic voice and restrained demeanor sharply contrast with the chaos he orchestrates. However, the antagonist lacks a tangible sense of menace. Despite his ominous manipulations, the Traveler feels more like a conceptual villain than a true threat. This is particularly evident in the finale, where his motivations remain frustratingly vague. Still, Bateman seems to relish the role, delivering a nuanced anti-hero performance that eschews cliched villainous smirks in favor of subtle manipulations. One of the biggest challenges for a thriller confined to a single location, in this case an airport, is maintaining momentum. Carry On starts strong. The holiday rush, the tense airport atmosphere, and characters quickly pulled into uncertainty. Unfortunately, the second act loses steam. The script stretches out the progression of events, and instead of diving into the character's psychology, it meanders into routine dialogue and insignificant scenes. While the climactic moments are well shot, they lack surprise. The cinematography keeps the tension alive, especially in tight spaces where close-ups and sharp angle shifts amplify the drama. But this alone isn't enough to fully offset the structural flaws in the script. Danielle Deadwyler, playing police officer Elena Cole, is a standout in an otherwise lackluster ensemble. Her character, a sharp, confident professional, could easily have carried the film in a different iteration. Every time she's on screen, the tension rises, and her charisma elevates scenes that might otherwise fall flat. On the other hand, Sophia Carson's portrayal of Ethan's girlfriend is underwhelming. Her role is so stereotypical and devoid of individuality that her presence feels more irritating than enriching. One of the most intriguing aspects of the film is its moral undertone. How far is someone willing to go to save their loved ones? Would they break the law, even at the cost of risking others' lives? These questions hover at the edges of the plot, but are never deeply explored. Particularly impactful is the way the film portrays the breakdown of trust. Ethan finds himself doubted even by those who should be on his side. This resonates in a world where people often reject the obvious if it doesn't fit their worldview. So, is Carry On a revival of the genre or a step backward? The film tries to bridge the gap between old-school thrillers and modern sensibilities, but seems hesitant to take real risks, offering familiar elements in a slightly updated package. It's far from the worst in its genre, yet it doesn't leave a lasting impression either. For fans of high-stakes stories with moral undertones and an everyman hero, the film works well enough for a casual evening watch. But it falls short of the high bar set by its inspirations like Speed, or Die Hard. If you're looking for something light and engaging, Carry On will suffice. But for those craving true depth and adrenaline-pumping tension, you may need to look elsewhere. Let Carry On be what it is, a light, occasionally intriguing thriller that nods to the good old days of the genre without truly revitalizing them.